Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia for you. Firstly, Tigray viewers, Tigray fighters are being demobilized. Tadesse Varede 2 days ago held a press briefing saying that 50,000 Tigray fighters have been demobilized. How much money was given to these Tigray fighters? Is the money enough? Can they survive? While these Tigray fighters demobilized are being welcomed in their hometowns, we have seen massive rallies in support of them, welcome rallies in Mehoni, in other parts of Tigray. Question is how much money was given to them and how much money was given to TPLF members, Tigray fighters, after they overthrew Dirks in 1991. What happened after that? How much money was given back then? How much money was given this week to Tigray fighters? Alarming comparison for you. Secondly, Fano fighters are now capturing weapons from Ethiopian National Defense Force. Fano 2 days ago, some Fano fighters showed weapons which are new for me. Fano fighters are mostly armed with guns, AK-47, Kalashnikovs. But now new type of weapons, new types of weapons have been seized by Fano fighters. I have a few pictures and details of these weapons for you. Thirdly, viewers, today is the test of Ethiopian government's popularity or its sustainability in the Amhara region. In a major city of Avollo, preparations are underway for a pro-government rally. Preparation was underway last night, reportedly. So will the rally be held? We'll try to analyze. Firstly, viewers, Tigray fighters are being demobilized in accordance with Pretoria deal. Disarmed heavy weapons handed over by Tigray fighters. Air Force weapons, group weapons too. Some Tigray fighters are still armed with small weapons, small arms. But thousands of Tigray fighters have been demobilized. 2 days ago, Tadesse where they confirmed that 50,000 TDF members had been demobilized. I did a video. I shared details of the types of TDF members who have been demobilized. Most of them are disabled. Some of them are old. Some are sick, suffering from some diseases. And there are some favorites too, blue-eyed too, who want to be removed from service, military service, and they manage to be demobilized. And there could be some healthy ones too, but majority is from these categories. How much money was given to these Tigray fighters each? What I have learned is that each Tigray fighter demobilized was given 6,600 Ethiopian birrs. And they were promised that they'll be able to get wheat from their respective woredas where they live, where they have arrived now, wheat or grains. 6,006 birrs equal to around 150 US dollars according to Ethiopian official birr to dollar exchange rate. We know that dollar is not available in open market in Ethiopia. Dollar in black market is selling at a very high price. So in black market, 6,600 Ethiopian birrs are equal to around 60 US dollars. Around 60 US dollars. That is the real value of birr. It means that each Tigray fighter was given $60 to survive on. How many birrs were given to TPLF members after they overthrew Dergs in 1991? They were demobilized after that. Each of them was given 1,000 birrs. And back then, 1,000 birrs were equal to 150 US dollars. So in 1990s, they were given $150 each, and now $60 each. When everything is destroyed, these Tigray fighters worked for around 2 years, more than 2 years. They fought with the army. They were part of the army. What happened to their family members, to their houses, no one knows. How will they survive? Can you start a new business in Ethiopia with 60 US dollars? And for how many days can they and their family members survive? This amount is nothing. It's very little, very small amount. And how much wheat will they get from Warada's administration? That remains to be seen as well. Overall, the Tigray fighters, we can say they sacrificed to protect their region. Their sacrifices, their services are not being acknowledged. Is it because that the regional interim government has very limited resources? It could be one of the reasons. One of the reasons is that regional interim government it's not in a position to give more money to Tigray fighters. That is what government officials say. That regional government is relying on federal government is dragging its feet, it is not interested in implementation of Pretoria deal. Federal government is hoping that US and West would support implementation. That is why perhaps Getachew Reda, Tigray interim president, is in the US. Why? Because he's hoping that US and Tigrayan diaspora might support the Tigray demobilized fighters. Reconstruction, rehabilitation work needs money too. So he is there requesting diaspora to support Tigray interim government. He is there requesting US lawmakers. He met with Brad Sherman and others yesterday, requesting US lawmakers that aid restrictions on Tigray, on Ethiopia be lifted. USAID World Food Program suspended delivery of aid to Ethiopia more than a month ago. Delivery is still suspended. So maybe TPLF has better relations with US than PM Abiy. That is why Getachew is trying to engage the US directly, and diaspora too. He is trying to convince diaspora that Pretoria deal was necessary because Tigray forces were suffering heavy losses. People of Tigray were losing their lives in large numbers. So this is the time for Tigray and diaspora to step in now. They backed the war in 2-year-long period. Yes, they could not realize their dream of having an independent Tigray. But now this is the time for diaspora to intervene. Now people of Tigray need Tigrayan diaspora. Now Tigray Defense Force, Tigrayan diaspora love TDF. I know that. I was in touch with them. I covered all their protests, etc. They love TDF. They were not happy with the disbandment of TDF, but these are TDF members. This is Tigrayan diaspora's responsibility. They should support these demobilized Tigray fighters. Tigray interim government cannot implement Pretoria deal. It cannot reconstruct, rehabilitate Tigray. Outside support is needed. Ethiopian government will not go beyond a certain limit. Now, foreign entities will have to be involved to support Tigray fighters. Overall, the rallies are being taken out to welcome these Tigray fighters. Yes, they should be welcomed, but question is, how much money do they have to survive on? Not enough. Secondly, viewers, the Fano fighters are capturing weapons from Ethiopian National Defense Force. Fano fighters are mostly armed with small arms, guns, rifles, AK-47 Kalashnikovs. But now, when they are confronting Ethiopian National Defense Force, they are capturing ENDF's weapons too. And by the way, that is how TDF was formed. Tigray Regional Police, Tigray Special Forces did not have tanks, artillery pieces, MLRS. They attacked Northern Command, they captured ENDF's weapons. Then in different engagements with ENDF, they captured ENDF's equipment. All TDF's equipment were basically ENDF's equipment. That is how TDF was established and organized too. Tiers established too. Engineering corps, medical corps established, but it could not survive because of the siege, debilitating, devastating siege, which forced Tigray and then intervention from Eritrea, which forced Tigray to make compromise. Now Fano is on its way towards getting more weapons from ENDF. I'll do a separate video on Fano's attempts to get weapons from abroad, hopefully tomorrow or day after tomorrow. But in Ethiopia too, they are in a position now to get weapons from ENDF. They were defending a few months ago, 2 months ago. Now they are on the offensive. They're carrying out attacks, seizing weapons, showing pictures of POWs, releasing POWs, capturing their weapons. 2 types of new weapons were shown 2 days ago by Fano fighters, which I have not seen so far. It was the first time 2 days ago when I saw these 2 types of weapons with Fano fighters. You can see a picture on your screen. The picture shows the weapons captured by Fano fighters after confrontation with security forces. The picture shows RPGs, firstly. Secondly, mortars. Before the publishing of this picture, I did not see any picture of Fano fighters with RPGs and mortars. Now they have 60 mm mortars and RPGs. It means they are better equipped now for their style of fighting. The style of fighting is that they mostly carry out ambushes, though now we are starting to see large-scale confrontations too. By the way, this insurgency in the Amhara region is rapidly evolving. Now we're seeing long engagements between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military. Several hour-long fighting reported in different parts of the Amhara region. So Fano fighters are not only carrying out ambush-style attacks, but now there is head-on collision between ENDF and Fano fighters. ENDF is not in a position to deploy its tanks, artillery pieces in most cases. In most cases, though in some cases, these heavy weapons can be deployed. Drones are not being used for carrying out strikes. So far, only we saw, I think, 1 or 2 incidents involving use of drones. Reconnaissance drones could be in operation. But now, when Fano fighters have more weapons, of course, no heavy weapons, they'll be able to carry out more attacks, more deadlier attacks on Ethiopian National Defense Force. ENDF obviously will use more force. Gradually, small clashes between Fano and ENDF are turning into large-scale escalation. Still, it's not a war, but we cannot say that there are just a few clashes between Fano fighters and military. It's between a war and a small-scale clash. If things keep on progressing the way they are going now. I think after a few weeks we could see start of big escalation in the Amhara region, because Fano fighters starting to get more weapons from ENDF. ENDF will deploy its air assets in coming days, I think. ENDF not deploying its air assets because air assets, their use always leads to collateral damage. There is already anti-government sentiment in the Amhara region. If airstrikes are conducted, civilians die. Fano fighters will back people to protest, and it could lead to protest across the Amhara region. Military is showing restraint, not because it loves Fano fighters. It's showing restraint because there could be repercussions of the use of air power in Amhara. Thirdly, viewers, a test of federal government's popularity or its sustainability in the Amhara region today. Preparations are underway for a rally in Wollo. In North Wollo, a rally could be held today. Last night, government officials are working to make the rally a success. In Voldia, it is being planned that a rally should be held. Maybe after Friday prayers or before that, I don't know, but I don't know the exact time, because what we heard last night was that government officials were going to people's, they were meeting people, telling them to attend the rally. Of course, people could be bribed to, but even then it's difficult to take out a rally in support of the government in any part of Amhara region today. It's easier perhaps, or it is less difficult in Wollo than in Gojam and Gondar to hold a rally to support the government. That is why rally is being held in Wollo, North Wollo, where there is presence of both Oromos and Amharas. Let's see, will the rally be held? Will it be a success? We'll try to update you in coming videos from Voldia. Thank you for watching.